Good evening. First tonight, Malcolm Turnbull has unleashed a searing attack on Labor's economic credentials. He says Bill Shorten is taking Australians for mugs, but the opposition leader counters families will have less cash in their pockets if they vote for the coalition. Adam Todd is in Sydney for us tonight, where the Prime Minister is. And Adam, the Prime Minister is happy talking about the economy.
Well, Natasha, Malcolm Turnbull certainly feels that he's on safe ground talking about the economy. Labor equally knows that economic management is a perceived weakness. They are trying to turn that around. That's why we saw this week them releasing their 10-year economic plan and unveiling billions of dollars in savings measures. Ultimately, Bill Shorten has 3 weeks to convince voters that he will be better for their budget. Malcolm Turnbull meets Leo the llama. And after a shaky start, they eventually became friends. And as the PM tried his hand as a snake charmer, he accused Labor of trying to pull off a magic trick on the economy.
Miraculously, like Houdini, escape from the trap that they have set for themselves, spring out of their black hole of debt and deficit and come into budget balance.
Rubbishing Labor's claimed billions in budget savings and a pledge they'll return to surplus at the same time as the coalition.
Really, they are taking Australians for mugs.
But Bill Shorten says it's families who'll be mugged if the Prime Minister is re-elected.
We are the party standing up for the families of Australia because we don't take the view that you need to smash the household budget in order to protect the national budget.
The opposition leader stuck with more traditional campaigning fare as he attacked the Prime Minister over comments comparing Australia with oil states, in danger of being left behind after the mining boom.
I don't accept Mr Turnbull's characterisation that it's inevitable that we sort of have some sort of banana republic moment.
Today, Bill Shorten was keen to talk about gender equality, and central to his plan is tackling the scourge of domestic violence, committing $88 million for a new Safe House program.
One undeniable fact of family violence is that women are not safe in their own homes. So we'll be proposing innovative programs which see the perpetrator have to move on rather than the survivor and the victim have to move on.
Labor would also ensure 50% of places on government boards are filled by women. And Bill Shorten says he thinks that gender equality should be a mainstream issue. Now, there are still 3 weeks until the election. If this had been a normal 5-week campaign, the election would have been today.
Oh, Adam, thank you. As domestic violence in Australia continues to rise, police in New South Wales have revealed the new tool they hope will save potential victims. GPS tracking devices are now being trialled to follow high-risk offenders. Adam Walters has more.
In contrast to the coward who abused her, Jennifer Armstrong had to show tremendous courage to flee what she feared would be a life-threatening situation.
I felt so unsafe in my own home that I slept with a knife under my pillow.
And fears about the safety of her young children had Jennifer living on the edge.
To jump and be nervous every time a tree branch goes outside, to live like that is just horrific.
She survived to tell a disturbingly familiar Australian story. According to White Ribbon, 1 in 3 women is assaulted by someone they know. 1 woman is killed every week by a partner. Domestic violence is the main cause of homelessness, and it's estimated it'll cost the economy $15.6 billion as more and more victims come forward.
We think that's because they are more confident in the system, they are more confident of getting the right and supportive police response.
There's a new weapon in the war against domestic violence, GPS monitoring, allowing police to track high-risk offenders before it's too late for their next victim.
This is about perpetrator accountability. In the past, we've focused on the perpetrators after they've committed their crimes.
It's all part of a $150 million boost to domestic violence services in New South Wales and a renewed commitment to victims by all the states and territories.
It's just going to make it so much easier to know that you have that support. There's the funding behind that.
Record funding to ensure fewer victims have to pay the highest price of all. Adam Walters, 10 Eyewitness News.